and free software people hate the term intellectual property, right?
Yes,
they say, oh,
I
it's
am
so
one of
vague.
those haters.
Yeah. Well, they say, oh, it's not property. Plus, are you talking about a trademark or a copyright or a patent or a trade secret or a term of service or a non-compete agreement or a sui generis neighboring right or whatever? Which one is it? And here's the thing that I think we didn't understand is that when business uses the term intellectual property, it's not a meaningless buzzword. It actually has an incredibly precise definition. When a corporate officer says, what intellectual property do you have? What IP do you have? What they mean is, what rules or regulations can you avail yourself of that will allow you to reach out and control the conduct of your competitors, your critics, and your customers, right? And they don't care. That's why they don't distinguish, right? They don't care if it's a trademark or a trade secret or this or that, right? What they care about is not the notional goals of different IP regimes, disclosure of patentable inventions or incentive to create in a copyright or whatever. What they care about is control. And so they fashion these overlapping layers where you have a copyright, and then the copyright has some limitations and exceptions. But those limitations and exceptions are covered by a patent, which has some limitations and exceptions, which are covered by a trademark, which has some limitations and exceptions, which are covered by a trade secret. And so the idea is to build up a suite of controls that allow you to reach outside of the boundary of the enterprise and decide what other enterprises can do, what customers can do. Can you make a third-party ink cartridge? Can you use a third-party ink cartridge? Can you analyze a first-party ink cartridge and describe how a third-party ink cartridge is made? All of those involve some measure of trademark, trade secrecy, patents, anti-circumvention, and other rules. And the idea is to wrap them all up so that you can control them. And so, when you look at these international trade agreements like TPP and TTIA and so on, one of the things that we see is that their IP chapters are always written with this in mind. That's the way they're structured, is not to protect legitimate interests and not to protect the rule of law, but to conjure up a thing that the Sorek, the guy who started Cydia, the third-party Apple store, he calls it felony contempt of business model, right? What every firm has dreamt of since the earliest days of market economies is the ability to decide what the market would do